3 Lives 3 Worlds. The Pillow Book. Lower volume. Original work by Tangqi Gongzi. English translation, Hamster 428. English editing, Rockharlequin, Lily, JoannaKuang. Epilogue. Bai Gun did not find his mother upon waking up. Uncle Siegoku's expression was extremely solemn. He picked him up and said there was somewhere he needed to take him to. Uncle Siegoku had always been solemn, but he seemed especially solemn today. Bai Gun was sensitive enough to sense that something bad must have happened. After they rode across the sea of clouds in the sky, Uncle Siegoku led him to a palace surrounded by auspicious clouds, where they then headed into a garden filled with maple trees. There were many uncles, aunts, brothers, and sisters in this garden. As they passed through an arching doorway in the garden, they heard a fan-waving uncle talking to a beautiful sister. In fact, purifying the Miaoi realm and similar world crises are the deity clan's responsibilities. They have nothing to do with the demon clan. You said you just happened to pass by and see Yehua and the others struggling to break the force field, so you lent them a hand. But let me ask you, Xiao Yan, why were you passing by the blue sea in the first place? The beautiful sister was at once flustered. I was lost, okay. What an idiot, Bai Gun heard Uncle Siegoku say. All the brothers, sisters, uncles, and aunts in the garden turned to look at them. The beautiful sister was outraged. She stared at Uncle Siegoku and asked, "Whom were you calling an idiot?" No one in the garden paid attention to the outraged sister. Instead, they all looked at him in surprise. Bai Gun buried his head into the crook of Siegoku's neck, just barely turning to show his round, dark eyes. The fan-waving uncle stared at him for a while, then pointed his fan at him and asked Uncle Siegoku, "Whose child is he?" "Can't you tell by looking?" replied Uncle Siegoku, indifferently. The fan-waving uncle widened his eyes in surprise. Donghua's. Bai Gun didn't know what Donghua was. Was it the name of a place? Uncle Siegoku didn't care to pay any more attention to the people in the garden, and instead carried him through the doorway, turning through yet another door. Behind this door was a long corridor of rooms. With his sharp hearing, Bai Gun heard some muttering ringing in from the garden. If it hadn't been for Bai Qian, her husband, and Moi Wan's rushing there in time to break the force field and using half of Kunlun to seal away the dark force, this child would have lost both of his parents. How pitiful! At once, someone replied, "You're right, High Deity Jian." However, even if it was precarious, this instance showed that one shouldn't unconditionally believe in destiny. For example, who would expect the force field could be broken? Who would expect Kunlun was so special that it could seal away the 3 poisons? Then again, I'm really concerned how long it will last this time. Daijun is going to have to cultivate for thousands of years before he can regain what he lost. If Kunlun ever collapses before then. A female voice spoke up, Siming, what a worrywart you are. Do you think Moi Wan's seal is a joke? Compared to Kunlun and Daijun, I'm more worried for Her Highness Fengju. Her fairy essence was severely damaged, and she still hasn't regained her consciousness. Bai Gun didn't understand what they were talking about earlier in the conversation, but this sister said she was worried for his mother and that his mother's fairy essence was so badly damaged that she still hadn't woken up. Bai Gun's hands curled into tiny fists. Uncle Siegoku patted his back to reassure him. Do you think Jian is a crook, doctor? Your mom is hurt, but she'll wake up soon after a few months of rest. She has always praised you for being so calm and responsible for your age. Let me see now how responsible you are. Bai Gun didn't know who Jian was, but he knew Uncle Xia would never lie to him. Since he said his mother was all right, she must be all right. But his heart was still tense with worry, all the way up until they went into a room among the corridor of rooms. The smell of medicine took over the space. His mother was lying in bed with her eyes closed. Engravings of plum blossoms and orchids adorned the headboard. A handsome uncle with hair just like his was sitting bedside. In his hand was a bowl of medicine. He was using a white porcelain spoon to slowly stir the concoction inside. Uncle Xia placed him down. Displaying no timidity, he tottered to his mother's bed with his short legs. How fortunate, despite being unconscious, her countenance was glowing with life. Just as he began to relax, he heard a voice above his head, "Who are you?" He gazed up to the handsome uncle and gave a concise answer, "I'm Bai Gun." The handsome uncle knitted his brow. Bai Gun, who? Bai Gun pointed to himself in all seriousness, then pointed to his mother who was lying in bed and said, "Juju's son." Crash! The medicine bowl fell to the floor from the handsome uncle's hand. Bai Gun felt a bit hurt. Was his being his mother's son that difficult to accept? Why did everyone seem so shocked? Moments ago, it was the uncles, aunts, brothers, and sisters in the garden. Now, it was this handsome uncle by his mother's bedside. Adding to that, this uncle was so shocked, he even dropped the medicine bowl. Uncle Siegoku signaled to him with a glance that he should stay put and not run around, then stepped outside. The room was so quiet that Bai Gun felt a little nervous. Remembering their exchange, he gulped and mustered up enough courage to ask the handsome uncle, "What about you? Who are you?" After a long while, he saw the handsome uncle reaching his hand out to caress his head. The voice above his head was softer, giving him warm fuzzies this time. "Gun, I'm your father." End of 3 Lives 3 Worlds, The Pillow Book. Back to the Chaos in a Dream is the continuation of 3 Lives 3 Worlds, The Pillow Book. You can check it out in this channel. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for listening.